Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new podcast. We're going to be your hosts. I'm Angus.
And I'm Becky, and we're going to be talking all things creators, creative, and
everything in between.
And everything in between.
So you may be asking yourself, why are we doing this? Why are we starting a podcast? Well, this is the TallTales podcast. It's not just going to be me and Becky. So every episode we're going to be having on a different creator, whether they're an illustrator, a writer, a photographer, a designer, or any other kind of artist. And we're going to be talking to them about their life as a creator. So how they started out, what they do, what their challenges they faced. We want to get to know them. And along the course of this, we'll be talking about art, actually making some art, and just having a great time in the studio. But I think it's best if we introduce ourselves first. So just for the record, I'm Angus. I'm a freelance writer. I'm a photographer, and I'm the brand creator for TallTales, which is an online publication to help creators promote their brands.
And I'm Becky, a freelance designer, a product designer, and I illustrate for different brands and different companies. Yes. Seeing as we're both getting to know each other, well, and our listeners are getting to know each other this episode,
Yes.
I've thought, seeing as you are the creator of TallTales, the brand, why did you start TallTales? And what is it for the people who don't know what TallTales is?
Well, if you're not aware, TallTales is it's an online publication website where all types of creators can go online and post their work. So whether you're an illustrator, an artist, or whatever artist you are, you can put your work on there for free, and it's completely open to post. And as a freelance writer and a sort of poet, I'd poems, I'd stories, I'd lots of different just bits of writing that I didn't know where to put. I didn't know sort of about any competitions coming up. So it's sort of a passion project from me that would help me, but would also help other creators. So it's really to help creators to promote their brand, to help them inspire, I guess, to actually have somewhere to put their stuff and not just have like a collection of things that never ever see the light of day.
Yeah.
So it's to sort of help creators be more creative, I guess.
Yeah. I suppose seeing like your online platform and stuff, you have created a really well-known brand for yourself. And I mean, you're posting on there more or less every day, aren't you?
More or less every day, yeah.
And it's definitely very, very influential, and it's amazing how you've reached out to so many creators, I think. How have you got in contact with these creators? Have you just through knowing them, like how have you networked yourself into such a big branch?
Yeah, it's been really just amazing to sort of get to know so many people, because it's, as you said, there's been a lot of different ways of getting to know people, because I've met a few people in person through networking events, and through me and Becky work in a professional environment with creators, so I've met some through there. I've met some who I've just messaged out the blue online and said, would you be willing to share some of your posts on TallTales? And they thankfully said yes. And there's been this range and collection of different creators who I've just had the absolute pleasure to meet and be introduced to through this, and it's just absolutely incredible to meet people.
There's loads of really interesting people out there, I find, as well.
Amazing. It's
like you hosted a networking event recently, which was brilliant, and you genuinely do, through networking, meet some amazing people, and I think your platform is such a good place for people to meet, and also say if they're trying to start a business or something like this, they're trying to have it up and running, they could literally look at TallTales and find someone who does the creative aspect they're looking for and almost employ them as a freelancer, and I think that's also a good space for that.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I don't want to say I'm like Bill Gates, but essentially, I mean, what can I say?
Okay.
I'm too humble to say that, but people have said that about me. But,
what, that you're Bill Gates?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
So obviously, I was gonna ask. Obviously, you're a designer. I'm a poet.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
designer and the poet.
Oh dear.
When did you? That's not the title of this episode. When did you sort of start design? If you don't mind me asking, when did you start designing?
That is, you know what? That is such a good question. I think I actually found my love for it in school. because I'm not very academic in any way, shape or form.
Okay.
But I found being creative, like, just something that, I don't know, like just doodling on a bit of paper whenever you're talking to someone or something like that. And, you know, I think teachers are a very big influence, can be, on students. And I was definitely impacted by my teachers, and they were so supportive, and it was something that it was a lesson I genuinely looked forward to, especially at GCSE and A level, like especially at GCSE when you're forced into all these different classes.
Yeah.
But product was something that you could just kind of do off your own back, and it was something that I genuinely did look forward to. So I'd say probably like it started in school. I think it's for a lot of people that it starts in school, where you're kind of given that creative freedom to do what you want, especially under a brief where you can kind of just look at, you know, different aspects. And it's when you're looking at a brief, especially, you can be so creative, and you become almost like a professional in that field, and it can be for the most bizarrest things. Like it's just so interesting, and I think that's what I loved about it. And I think being shown that at that age, I was like, this is great. I can do what I want.
Free reign, I guess.
Free reign. Like, I can explore any field. And I think especially coming to university, it shows you that you can do what you want. If you have that drive and that motivation, then you can do what you want. And if you have good reason to do it, then you can. It's like I've done some very interesting projects, and I've become like really invested in them because it's just been really interesting.
You did them yourself, and
exactly, yeah. And I've done it for myself, and it's and you can choose what you find interesting. So yeah, that kind of answers your question. I
was going to say that's really interesting. Like talking about in school, you sort of looked forward to that subject, because in school I look forward to going home.
Did you?
Yeah, I hate it now. I know I get what you mean totally. Because I loved English, I loved drama, so I always look forward to those subjects because that was what I was passionate about. And like you said, especially with GCSE and with A levels, that's when it gets more serious and you have more creative control, especially in drama. I think it's the same for design. You have more creative control of what you do. What you choose to do, especially with what you're assessed on.
Oh, definitely.
So it's this incredible thing where even though you're in school and you sort of have this heavy sort of lens on you to everyone looking at what you're doing, you've got lots of sort of creative design, and you can do not what you want, but a bigger range of choice.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I think it's definitely like that in more of the creative subjects, and I think it's for a lot of people where they find, because I think, I don't know, if you're being homeschooled, you don't have access to a workshop. You know what? Bear with me, I'm going somewhere with this.
No, please go.
So, but like in school, you've got also the credibility to doing, like, using machinery and stuff like that, and you're trusted to do it. And I think as further you go up the school, you get to use more of the equipment. So like that's also like another thing. It's almost like, oh, you've unlocked a new level. You can use the bandsaw.
Oh yeah. Love that bit in drama when like I level up, I could use the bandsaw.
You level up in drama.
Now act out using the bandsaw. Okay.
That was the thing for drama. Though I was always promised by my drama teacher that I would get an A if I did it, and I was like,
really?
ain't no way.
You didn't do it?
No, I was just like, I'd heard horror stories that people had to act out giving birth.
What?
And I was like, I ain't doing that. I was like, that's so weird.
We were like trees. That's what we had to do.
I don't know if it was the all girl school vibe, but I don't know. It was just a bit weird if you ask me. So that put me off. I was like, no way.
That
ain't
is
no way.
something.
That is something.
What?
Isn't it? Yeah, like there was horror stories going around. Like everyone would be like, don't do it. You've got to act doing this, and it just all seemed a bit too dark and deep for me. So I took product design instead.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, if it weren't for that, I might be on the West End somewhere right now.
I mean,
you
yeah.
know?
I mean, bloody move over Anna Taylor-Joy. Becky and Leach is going in. That's right, baby.
Oh dear.
Oh. What did you say? Sorry. Good.
Have you had many people drop out?
Well, it's an intense course. It's like a whitewater raft of a course.
Whoa,
it is
that's a good
incredibly
analogy.
intense.
Which part of the rapids are you on?
You know the strongest bit?
Yeah.
That.
Is that what TallTales has brought to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the strongest part of the rapids.
Well,
Are you
that's what it's
submerged
about.
or are you still above water?
I'm both.
You're half.
Well, that's
and
why it's
half.
called TallTales, because I want a tall tail so I can swim better in the rapids.
My days.
Good.
I'm
What
leaving.
a terrible
That was
joke. What an absolute
I'm leaving.
That
terrible
was amazing.
I wish I could walk out.
No,
But
you don't.
the
That
joke
was
that
sick.
broke the podcast.
I think it just cut out on its own.
20 minutes into the first episode and it's
Oh.
over.
So it's done.
Yeah, that's let's call it a night, guys.
Yeah.
No, there's been a few people who've dropped out, but not too many to my knowledge.
Yeah.
I think I know one. I don't know. I think about 4 maybe in first year or
Yeah.
over the course, but I'm not sure really. What about tech, product design?
You know what? That is a hard question. We have lost people over the years, making
Okay.
it sound like it's 10, but just over the past couple of years. But there's been a lot of people. You know what? Not to my knowledge, have people left. I know people have failed and had to retake, but I don't know anyone that's left. Apart from one instance I probably can't talk about because it's legal.
Oh yeah.
About a certain someone in first year that probably shall not be spoken about. But apart from that, no, I don't think anyone has left out of pure rage. Actually, no, there was one person, but he was like 30 and he'd done like several uni degrees just to get by. Yeah. Yeah, but he left and never came back. He went to go live on a narrow boat somewhere, so he's living the high life.
On the proper whitewater rapids.
You could say he's living the calmer life than yourself on the water rapids.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Do you
done.
get
I think
it?
I'm done with the podcast.
Because
Yeah. I think
it's a narrow boat. It's
yeah.
It's canal and it's calm.
For all those at home who are still listening, well, I was just going to say, so obviously the podcast is all about art and creativity.
Yeah.
And we're talking, before the podcast started, we're talking about doing some painting.
Mm-hmm.
What creative elements do you do, like hobbies? What do you do outside of design?
You know
Design
what?
tech?
I don't know if it's a hobby, and I don't know if it's creative, but at my work, this is probably one of the only examples I can really. Obviously, I freelance, so I do bits for people, but I don't know if that's outside of my degree. And obviously, doing this placement year, like we've had the opportunity to do stuff like that. I'm trying at the minute to start my own brand for basically like people who have gone through bereavement. This is like a plug.
Yeah.
It's not. For people who have recently gone through bereavement or who have ever gone through bereavement, basically it's like send me the person's clothes, and if you want them being turned into a quilt, or if you want them being like, there's this really nice, it's hard to visually show you because I can't, so I'm just gonna have to describe, but it's like you take the shirt and you stuff the shirt of the person who has passed, and it makes like the shape almost of them, which is like really sweet. I think I'm not necessarily trying to make money out of it, it's just something that I think is quite nice, and I think if I can offer that service to people who don't necessarily have the equipment or the skills to be able to do that sort of thing. But I also bake on a lighter note. I've worked in hospitality for quite a long time, and one of the hospitality jobs I have is working in a tea room, and I've worked in like a tea room for so long now, and I bake cakes. I have a whole portfolio of cakes I've baked, and scones, and I don't know if that's creative though. Is that creative?
I think that's
it's almost like I don't know.
That's creative. That's pretty. I mean, it's like it links back to what we've done before.
Yes,
I was just about to say, bit of bread and batter action.
Bread and batter. Oh yeah, we did a gosh, it was early on in the year, didn't we? For people that don't know, me and Angus created our own little brand, our side business.
Fantastic.
Called Bread and Batter.
Side hustle, passive money.
That's right.
Passive income.
Passive money, and that was a stressful few days.
It was so it was for the Hallam Handmade Fair.
Yeah.
So in Sheffield, Chef Hallam, in December, so around Christmas, they have a handmade fair where sort of creators can come and sell what they do. So illustrators, sort of jewelry makers, fashion people who make sort of a fashion sticker, whole different things. And we sort of spoke and we said, I bake bread and Becky makes cake. So we sort of came together and said, do you think we could do this? We could sell this at the fair.
It didn't start like that though, did it?
Did it?
No.
What did it start as?
It was going to be bread and butter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because
I was like...
who was making butter in that? Okay.
I have never, shameless to say, I've never made butter in my life. But I was like, Angus, wouldn't this be a good butter? Oh, we did. We made it once and it was painful, so we didn't do it again.
Great.
Yeah. And then we said we might make sandwiches with the bread, and then we thought, no, that's just
ridiculous.
Yeah,
we were going to sell sandwiches.
So we gave up on that. And eventually we just got to a point where we decided, I'll make the bread and you make the cakes.
Yeah.
But I'll also help make, because I think I made one of the cakes.
Yeah.
I don't remember which, but I made one. The chocolate banana bread, I made that.
Oh, yeah, you did, didn't you? I remember.
The worst one. And, so we spent 2 days.
It was like, so long. Like, I was working during this time as well, so I'd be at the fair all day, and then we'd sell out cakes, but then I'd work in the evening, so then I'd be like at 11 o'clock making cakes, and I'd be up at like 8 the next morning icing it, and it was just ridiculous. And it was a proper insight to if we owned our own bakery.
Yeah. It was
something. It was definitely something. But yeah, no, it was good. We made, it's a good. I completely forgot about that. It's a good way to, put your skills into an actual business, I suppose, and use money and learn how to, budget and stuff like that, and float and all that sort of jazz. So
I think it was a good little thing where you can. Everyone's got sort of a skill that they can use to not just make money, but sort of get their own brand out there, I guess. So like it's really interesting what we were doing, and we both really enjoyed it, except for I think for me, I got hit the hardest in the afternoon before the first day. Yeah. So it was a 2-day fair, and the day before I spent the entire day making bread. The entire day making, I think it was 16 loaves.
And it takes long to make bread. Like, if you've never made bread before, and Angus does it like the proper, like, he doesn't use a bread maker, he does it the old-fashioned way, where you let it prove, like, and all of that jazz, and it was a sorry sight.
It was painful. I think it was at 6 in the evening. I'd forgotten some of the times on the proofing, so I was like running around the kitchen.
You were multitasking loaves.
Yeah, and then Becky called her parents. Then they're like, "Hi Angus, how are you?" I was like, "Hey." I just almost had a breakdown in the kitchen over bread, and it was this sorry sight of me just looking like an absolute moron. Basically,
it's alright. We got through it though, and we survived. We lived to tell the tale.
We did,
we did get offered to go back and do another fair, didn't we?
Yeah,
we said no.
We said no. We've done our time.
We've done our time. This can get in the portfolio now, so
and we'll never ever do it again.
But it took you some time to make some bread, didn't it? Again, he didn't make bread for a long while.
Traumatized.
I was traumatized. I did it for about 2 months, maybe 3. No, about 2 months. Yeah, because. Yeah. And
then, you poor thing, and he's now make bread again, so it's all alright.
Yeah, I'm back on the wagon.
He's back on the wagon.
Yeah.
You say that like it's an addiction.
Yeah.
He does make a banging loaf of bread.
Oh, look, it's one of the healthier vices out there. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
It's really good, actually, and fun to do. I recommend anyone who hasn't made bread and thinking about it. I would definitely recommend doing it.
Just make some bread.
Just make some bread. But I'm also distracted by what Becky's doing, and I will take a picture of this and put it on Instagram because this is insane.
Squares. Oh, okay. I'm just doodling as we talk because
as usual.
Talking about creative
and look at my creative swirls and my squares.
It's like the mind flow from Stranger Things.
It is. That's what I'm drawing actually. Good job.
Okay. I guess so.
Back on track.
Yeah.
So as a creative, Becky, what
Yeah.
would you say would be your dream project or your dream collaboration?
My dream collaboration.
So let's say I'm like a big company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big creative company.
Yeah.
I love design.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Good
digital
for you.
designers. Whoa, you
Brilliant.
walked in the door. Oh my God.
I'm the best person.
You're the
there
best
is for
person.
that.
I've got thousands of pounds or millions of pounds.
Oh, even better.
You can be with anyone you want.
Yeah.
You can make any project you want.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Any project I want.
Any project you want. Your dream project.
See, projects are hard. I was really invested in one that I started was to do with people who had arthritis. And I was really invested in that, but I am only one person. So do I invest my money in that? Probably not. If I was going for a company, if I could work for any company,
Yeah.
like F1 teams, I think Ferrari. I'd work for Ferrari.
Making the cars or
Yeah,
driving the cars.
Well, both. I don't think it's creative. Or like coming up with like an app for Ferrari. You know what I mean? Like for like race day. Why are you laughing?
No, don't worry.
I don't know. Are you talking about brands or are you talking about actual projects? Because I can't think of a project off the top of my head that I'd like to do. I'd like to work for Disney or Apple. That seems really cool because they're like very modern, aren't they? And if you see like the headquarters of Apple, like the design, the interior is sick. Like
5G.
it's 5G.
Yeah. Don't know why I said that, but I said it.
But yeah, no, I don't know. It's like a big brand like that. Like I'd love to work for, but it's not realistic.
Yeah. Well, I
Do you
guess
know what I
like
mean?
in this scenario where I'm like a wealthy business guy,
Yeah, and you
can do anything. You can.
So are you giving me millions to work on a project?
Yep, any project you want. Your absolute dream project. So
My
potentially it would
dream
never happen.
project.
But if it did, what would your dream project or your dream collaboration with someone be?
That's a pretty difficult question.
Sorry, it's quite a sort of depthful question.
If my dream project, I don't know, it's hard because a project could be anything. Like I could think of something now, but then I'll be like in bed later and I'll go, oh, that would have been better to say. I don't know. Creating something so old people aren't alone.
And that's all the time we've got here for TallTales podcast. Yeah.
No, because so you know, elderly people are sometimes alone, and their parents,
Yeah.
their family don't really see them. That makes me sad. That does break my heart. Like if you see an old person out in public alone, like it does make me sad.
Yeah.
And like for instance, someone will always go, "Well, he might be happy being alone." I was like, "Well, I don't know.
Maybe he is, maybe he's not.
Maybe he's not exactly." And some people are just genuinely lonely. So creating something so that people can't be alone. But then you could argue that spaces like Instagram or like I don't know, like social, like not like Bumble. I'm not talking relationships. I'm
Yeah, just
talking like
physically.
physical loneliness. But then you have like I could get so invested because it's like you have the argument of like old people don't really know how to use technology.
Yeah.
So it's like hard to be able to create something. So I don't know. It's just a really difficult one, and there's there's like carers and stuff like that. There's a massive shortage. Do you know what I mean? And people working in care homes, like people are really stretched at the minute.
Yeah.
But it'd be something to make everyone happy.
It'd be
But
a
I
nice
don't know what
passion
that'd
project,
be. I don't know. Like a service. It would. I think it'd be a service, but not a digital online service.
It would have to be sort of
I don't know.
in-person service.
Yeah, but that's the thing that comes to my head straight away.
Yeah.
Is old people loneliness, and I need to solve that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd use your money for.
That's quite a nice sort of.
Yeah, it's pretty wholesome.
Yeah. It's really nice,
I mean,
actually.
I could just pocket the money and do a runner, but
In this scenario where you can have a dream project or a dream collaboration, Becky pockets the money and runs.
yes,
Just to get that straight.
yeah.
These are the people you are listening to, audience. These people you idolise. This is who I have to deal with.
Tom's had no sleep.
Tommy's
Let's just
the
work around
guy.
to Thomas 20, like been awake 24 hours.
Okay, yeah. Hi, I'm Tom. I haven't introduced myself yet.
Oh yeah, Tom, introduce
Oh,
yourself.
Half an hour in. Hi, I'm Tom. I'm the sound engineer / producer of this podcast. They asked me to do it because they're the only person they know who can get them into the studio and who has any experience in this kind of zone. So that's why I'm here.
It
I
sounds
also
like
have a mic.
we're using him, but
We're not. I want to be part of this. Don't
This is
worry.
not-
This is
not-
a mutual adventure. Angus came to me. He was like, "We need someone to do sound, and you did it for the one we did last year. So do it again. Do it, boy."
Baby.
Do it, boy.
And I said, "Yes, sir." and submitted like the true man I am,
Heck
and said
yeah.
yes. But yeah, no, I'm as far as what I bring to this podcast, I bring comedic quips and
The Quip man.
good old fashioned chortle along humour.
Wow.
Yeah, and I
Um,
mean the jingle as well.
I made a jingle as well.
Yeah, at the beginning of the episode we'll have the jingle,
Yeah.
and that was all Tom. This morning.
Yeah, at like 9 a.m.
On
Yeah.
no sleep.
on no sleep.
Yeah.
I just thought, how do I make the worst elevator music possible for this podcast? And voila.
And that's your producer, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We promise he's not handcuffed to the chair, and he does leave.
I mean, well, I should probably say he is.
But we do feed him and bring him water.
It's true.
It's not forced. He chose to do that actually.
Yeah, I asked to be
He has to be
handcuffed for no reason.
Oh,
Work, boy, work.
But yeah, no, that's me. So you'll hear me sometimes when I can be asked to talk, when I'm not on my phone, not listening.
oh,
Back on with the show, guys.
So Angus,
yes.
if I walked in, I'm gonna pose you the same question,
Please do.
but in a different scenario.
Mm.
You're sat in Cafe Nero.
Okay.
I walk in.
What am I drinking?
You are drinking an oat milk latte with 2 pumps of caramel syrup.
Sounds amazing.
I walk in.
Yeah.
I see this bloke out the corner of my eye. He's got brown hair, Harry Potter glasses.
Mm.
He's got a TallTales sticker on.
He's got that Bill Gates aura.
Yeah. Somehow he
Yeah.
reminds you of Bill Gates.
He's
and
like
Steve
Bill
Jobs.
Gates without the money.
The Bill Gates Riz.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
no.
I walk in through the doors, the blast of aircon on my face. I look over, see you drinking your oat milk latte with 2 pumps of caramel syrup.
Mm.
I walk over. I go, boy.
Have you got the Wi-Fi password?
I go, boy. I've got a proposal for you. Here's $2 billion
Fucking hell.
Wow.
because we're now in America.
$2 billion.
What are you gonna do with it? Pitch to me right now what you do with this $2 billion.
What I do
And what do you do?
What do I do to? So I'd say hello.
Hello.
I'm Angus. I'm a freelance writer. And I'll show you my portfolio.
Mhm.
And then I'd say,
I'll say I didn't ask.
okay, that's great. So first, with the $2 billion, I'd buy myself a coffee, and I'd buy the person a coffee.
Who's the person?
You?
Correct.
Okay.
What coffee would you get me though?
I'd get you an iced latte.
What syrup?
Apple. I don't know. Coffee.
Tom, do you want the $2 billion?
Angus, you are losing budget on a horrible drink. Your planning is terrible. You
I don't
suck
know.
ass.
I was thinking of what coffee. So my dream collaboration or dream project. Well, initially, really, it's a hard question actually thinking about. So I don't know about my dream collaboration, but my dream sort of project would be, because primarily I'm a writer. I'd like to sort of see maybe a book or a series of novels I've written become sort of maybe a series or like a film, so in the big mainstream media, like sort of the Shadow and Bone series, the Game of Thrones series, something like that.
Oh yeah.
Maybe with fantasy, maybe not.
Jacqueline Wilson.
Jacqueline Wilson, yep, or like normal people, something like that. But also may want to create a proper production company through TallTales.
Ah.
So a company
Okay.
that musicians can go to, filmmakers can go to, any sort of creators can go to sort of help them basically. So like we'd help filmmakers make films. We'd help like people make music. So we'd have like we have people in all the sort of different categories. We'd have fingers in a lot of pies doing film, media, physical art, and we'd just be doing a lot of different things to basically help creators. Just help creators basically, because that's the entire sort of premise of TallTales. Because I want to give sort of creators and artists support.
Yeah.
So
That's a good idea.
I'd do that, or I'd buy myself some Lego.
That's a lot of Lego.
That's a lot of Lego for $2 billion.
That's a lot.
Would you buy the Death Star?
I would buy I'd definitely buy the Death Star.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
And I'd buy you
What would you buy me?
A better coffee.
a better coffee. Yeah, you know what? You're right. That's a terrible decision.
Don't think they even do apple syrup. I
I
think
don't know why I said apple. It was
that's
just
You panicked.
like-
First
yeah, I
thing that came to
panicked
his
and said
apple.
I went through the alphabet. I thought A apple.
head. Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
No, I'd
Good.
buy you. I don't know, caramel syrup. I don't know.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's better.
That is better.
I don't know.
What about you, Tom?
Oh,
Tom.
The same scenario,
$2 billion.
$1 billion.
$2
but
billion
we're
in
in
the bank.
Starbucks this time.
In Starbucks.
Okay, that's fine. What am I drinking, guys?
Okay.
You look like the type of person that would drink.
Should we? I've got an idea.
Go
what
on.
you gonna? Should we set on 3, 2, 1,
Yeah.
and then?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
right.
a good idea.
Right.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Earl
Pumpkin
Grey.
spice latte.
Tea.
No. I've had one of them before. It was nice for the first 5 sips, and then
Yeah.
I wanted to die after the rest of it.
It's something in it.
So you both don't know me that well, clearly, guys.
Is it a pint?
It'd been... yeah, you know me.
Go
A
to
pint is Starbucks.
Bring me a pint now, baby.
Fancy house brew, love. No, I'd get some, I don't know, like an iced frappuccino or something. I don't
An
know.
iced, a frappuccino has
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, I thought you said a nice frappuccino.
I meant, what's it called?
a frap.
No, not a
A
frap.
blended milkshake.
They're too sweet for me now. Like an iced, like caramel latte or something like that.
Wow,
Ooh.
we're all on the same wavelength
Yeah.
here. We're all just basic.
I
Yeah.
don't really like caramel pumps, by the way.
Oh.
I don't know to go back to
Thank you for
Becky's
bringing this
up
assumption
now.
of the,
10 minutes later.
sorry, I
Okay.
did forget.
Right. Anyway, my project,
Show your
which is what
project,
you
yes.
asked me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd do something similar to Angus, but just music based.
Mm.
I'd just create a new record label and look for through Sheffield, scouting young artists who want to,
Oh.
get up there.
That'd be really
make moves,
cool.
hopefully, and buy some space somewhere so I can build a studio, like a
Mm.
proper one, like with multiple
Yeah.
rooms in, like one of the big ones you'd see in probably like London or something. There's not a radio studio, like
Yeah.
a proper recording
Proper
studio.
recording studio.
And I'd just have that, and I'd support young local talent who
I love
wanna,
that.
Wow.
make it, because I'm in the same boat right now. I'm a musician in my free time,
Mhm.
and it's not been easy. I've been using the same software essentially for the last 7 years because it's way too expensive, and it'd be nice to be in a position where I can be the big man in that scenario.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That'd be fantastic.
You
So,
j-
would you just want to do local, or would you sort of?
I'd if it's a success, then I'd branch out. But
Mm.
I think I'd just stick with here for now.
Oh, fantastic.
Would you be called Piers Productions?
It's a good idea. But there's another name because it's one that I use, my fake record label that I put my own music out under and no one else does, called Cleveland Records, which is a street in my hometown. Where
Oh, that's so
Wow,
cool.
that's sick.
it's not
I
where I
never knew
lived,
that.
but like it's a street name that always stuck out to me whenever
Yeah,
I was
good
walking my
name.
dog. So
Oh wow.
I love
it'd be
that.
something
amazing.
like that. Yeah.
I love that.
Sick.
And we can write you the jingle.
Yeah,
we
I'm
can,
sure
we
it'd
can
be.
do the
Yeah.
roles reverse.
I'm sure that'd be good.
Yeah, that's not gonna be a good jingle
Angus just playing his bass that he used to have.
that I don't have anymore.
They don't have any more.
And then I'll play the triangle because that's all you have
Mm.
to play.
It's good. Bass and triangle.
Bass and triangle.
Lovely.
Dun, 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 dun,
It'll be
dun,
like
dun.
Arctic Monkeys, the B-Tech version.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. They could make a song out of that, I reckon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I reckon they could.
Yeah. Alex Turner, we're calling you out right now. Can you make a top 1 song?
With a bass guitar and a triangle,
Triangle.
and you'll slam poetry over the top of it.
Yeah.
Slam
Go.
poetry.
Do it now.
Think you can handle it?
But yeah, that's what I would do. I've had time to think about that, obviously, in the last I've fleshed out
Yeah.
a bit more while you mentioned it. So
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we were talking absolute rubbish.
Rubbish, really.
talking about apple syrup and all that
Oh,
shit.
let's not. Yeah,
Apple
I did not
syrup.
know where that came from.
Yeah, but yeah.
I'm just looking here.
Hmm.
What? You've written something about pot noodle. We're just looking through the notes of that Angus has made on the podcast.
Pot noodle. What am I talking
Yeah,
about?
I don't know. If you could create a new flavour of pot noodle, what would you create?
What?
That's what is written here.
Is that your
Ah.
question, Angus?
I'm sure.
I did not even. That's a good question actually. What would I make? They've already been done, really.
But it's
Mm.
something that's really specific,
I
like
gotta-
something you
Apple
one
flavour.
thing. Yeah, apple syrup
apple
flavor.
syrup flavour.
No, you know, I'd pick
Because it's creative.
yeah,
Pot noodle flavours. What would
Yeah.
you create?
I do top taste doner kebab chips and cheese at 3 a.m. after
that's
lead
it.
mill
I am
flavor.
officially done. I'm over. I'm over this.
I need that flavor.
You need that flavour. Chino's kebab.
Oh, hello.
Chino's seafood pizza.
Talk to
You know
me.
what? Talking, I think I might have spoken about this before, and you guys might know about it.
Mm.
But last time I was in there, I looked on the board
What in Top Taste?
in Chino's,
Okay,
and I saw a monstrosity on the board:
go on.
Go on.
a spaghetti bolognese
Oh, yeah.
pizza.
Oh my goodness, man.
We were talking about this,
I didn't order it because
but
I'm not a
Heathen, yeah.
not heathen,
well,
but like, how is that? So is it? So there's spaghetti on that pizza somewhere.
there must be. You
So
would have thought so.
is it in like the stuffed crust? bit?
the crust is made of
no,
spaghetti.
That is wrong.
Imagine,
Yucky.
or is
That
it just
is-
sort of in like in the middle, sort of like
It's the
smushed up?
the base of the pizza is spaghetti. It's
It's
just
just-
hardened, gelatinous,
hardened.
crisp, like
It's like
cooked.
deep fat fried.
yeah.
Oh,
And you bite into it and it's all stringy.
I
Oh
Yummy.
think
my-
we've got to try that.
no.
I think we
Okay,
do.
So one time we'll do that
On the TallTales
on the
podcast.
Yes.
TallTales podcast. We'll go to Chino's and we'll
Is it
all
open
buy-
When-
at these hours?
Yes,
It's
it is. It's
Okay.
open.
always open.
Chino's is never not open.
All right.
For people who don't know, Chino's is the most dirtiest kebab shop
Mm.
that you could ever go for.
In a good way, though.
And
in
it's
a
amazing.
good way. On a night out,
Oof.
it's cheap.
Yep.
After you've had so many beveraginos, you walk in back along London Road.
Oh, yeah.
You spot the yellow sign. You just know. You know it's
You're
gonna.
getting food
You
poisoning.
know it's gonna
baby.
Yeah.
get. It's gonna get good.
And then instead of that, you cross the road and go to
Kebabish.
Kebabish
Yeah,
instead.
you go to Kebabish.
Because it's miles better.
Yeah.
Mm.
You go home and you
Chino's.
live your life.
Yeah,
That's what you
go-
do.
You
You,
go to-
you avoid it at all
If
costs.
you're Angus, you go Osmond's and you get free
Free
packets of
of
noodles,
noodles.
and then you
Yeah.
cook them. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
So as you know, on TallTales we like to keep our guests at ease, and seeing as it's the first introductory episode with just me and Angus, I thought we could try and put ourselves at ease, including
Mm.
Tom, with an icebreaker question.
Mm.
So this week's icebreaker question is, what was the icebreaker?
Yeah, so the TallTales icebreaker is going to be a thing we do every week with a guest. Basically, to put them, as Becky said, put them at ease, relax them, and let you sort of know, you the listeners know, give you a sort of piece of what the guest is like. So this week
It could be anything.
could be absolutely anything, but this week the icebreaker is, if your life was a film, what would the film be called,
Oh
and
no.
who would you want to play you
Oh
in
no.
the
Christ.
film?
Oh no. This would make me more nervous. I'd be like, what is this podcast about?
Well, I messaged the person
do
with
you?
the so
Oh, that's a
the
good
person-
idea.
People always know what the question is. They can.
So we've preempted them. So is next week's guest been pre-warned?
Yeah.
Lovely
So I've
stuff.
messaged them about what the icebreaker is and
Perfect.
given them ample time to sort of think of an idea.
So we don't just throw them in the deep end, listeners.
No, like we're
No.
doing today.
No. Who's gonna go? I think Angus, you should go
Yeah.
first
Okay.
because this is your question.
I agree. Bear in mind, I've had about a week to think about this. I've not
Great.
thought about it at all.
No.
Brilliant. And me and
Um,
Tom have been given 5 seconds.
I've
Yeah,
got something.
You've got some. So if my life was a film, the film will be called. I honestly have no idea. It'll be called Tall Tale. I don't
Great.
know.
Brilliant.
I've
Good.
no idea. It would be called brown hair, glasses. I don't know.
Yes.
Harry Potter BTEC version.
Yeah, Harry Potter and the garlic eggs. And
Yeah.
Harry Potter and the garlic.
Bringing
That's
that
a bit of a
back.
call
That's
back.
great.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that.
And who would I choose to play me? You know that guy in End of the Effing World?
Oh, Alex Lawfer.
Him.
Yeah.
Choose
Okay.
him.
I see that. Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna have a Google after.
Have you seen Black Mirror?
No, I
Okay,
haven't.
no,
I'm in the
okay.
process, but I haven't properly. I've only watched one episode.
All right.
So,
Is it my
Becky,
go?
Becky, it's your go.
Oh, dear. So it could be anything. So I don't have to say, it'd be Shark Tale.
It's not an existing film. It's a it's a new title, I guess.
This is really hard. Oh, that's a good comparison, I think. What would it be called? Oh dear.
It's a hard question, isn't it? Because that's what I was
It is
thinking.
a really hard question. It'd be something like trying to get by.
Oh.
Yeah, I was thinking along similar lines for mine.
The sequel. Part 3. I don't know. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Something along those lines. That's bleak, isn't it?
Oh.
Or I was gonna say something like, I don't know. And then the person who I'd get to act me, I don't know many actors. Like the first person that comes to mind is Margot Robbie, but that is the least likable person ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you think of any actors that could act me?
Um.
I feel like I need to do one of those TikTok things where it like compares me to an actor.
Maybe Emma Roberts.
Who's Emma Roberts?
What?
The American. She's blonde, sort of.
I'm going to look.
She's just this random. The first actress I could think of, really.
She's in things. Some things.
She's in
That's
13
good.
Going on 30, is it?
Emma
No, that's
Roberts.
Jennifer Garner.
That's Jennifer Garner. I don't know who Emma Roberts is.
You know what? I don't see myself as any likeness to anyone though. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I'll think about this and I'll remember. I'll go, oh yeah, that's a bit of me. I don't know. I'll think about it. Tom, what about you?
My film's called Just Above Average,
Oh.
and I'm being played by your boy Lewis Capaldi because
Oh, that's funny. That is funny.
I used to and still sort of do look like him.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I used to look like him more than I do, but yeah. But if it's being a serious actual real actor, I'd go with
Lewis Capaldi.
don't know, the guy from Succession, Nicholas Brown, the tall guy. If you know what he looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought you were going to say Nicolas Cage.
No,
I think you're going to say Nicholas Nickleby.
I don't know who that is.
You know who I'm going to say?
What for
I
you?
don't know her name.
But
But,
who?
oh my gosh, what's that TV show? That.
Oh, that one.
I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Go on.
No,
I need some more clues.
she was in You, the last
this was in
season
Me?
of You. No.
The last season of You.
You.
Oh, Charlotte Ritchie,
Is that her?
the British girl.
Oh, and Ghosts.
No. I need to look because I don't know. One sec. Charlotte Ritchie. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's spot on. Spot on. She was also in Fresh Meat.
Yep.
Push Me,
Yeah,
is,
that's who I'd get to play. My person
Yeah.
in what was my film called again?
Getting By.
Getting By.
Getting
Just
by.
Getting By,
Getting By
yeah.
Part
Die Worm
2,
Kid.
the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Right,
Wow, that was.
is that a wrap?
Is that yeah?
I think.
You guys happy with that?
Yeah.
I
So
think so.
thank you so much for listening. I know it's been a bit sort of higgledy-piggledy today, but next week it will sort of
Flow.
it will flow a bit better, and hopefully. Well, I'm really excited. I think we're all really excited for the guests we're gonna have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope
So-
you'll be excited for the guests too.
You'll like her, I promise.
Yeah.
She's-
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh,
You've
sorry.
given it away.
Yeah, they definitely know
Well,
who.
Yeah. So we'll see you next week. I think we're all really excited for it, and just thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you for
And
listening.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah.
And we are the TallTales
Tales Podcast.
TallTales podcast.
That's all right.
Oh fuck, wrong button. Yeah.
Let's go.
This is fucking fire.
It's
I
good,
love
isn't
this so much.
I'm gonna listen to this in the shower.
TallTales. Yeah.
Oh man.
TallTales. Where's the stop record button?